Yashar, Jasher, chapter 39. And when these sons of Yaakov went from the city of Sarton, they had gone about 200 amah when they met the inhabitants of Taphnach coming toward them, for they went out to fight against them, because they had smitten the sovereign of Taphnach and all his men. So all who remained in the city of Taphnach came out to fight against the sons of Yaakov, and they intended to retake from them the booty and the spoil which they had captured from Hazar and Sarton. And the rest of the men of Taphnach fought against the sons of Yaakov in that place, and the sons of Yaakov smote them, and they fled before them, and they pursued them to the city of Arbalon, and they all fell before the sons of Yaakov. And the sons of Yaakov returned and came to Taphnach to take away the spoil of Taphnach. But when they came to Taphnach, they heard that the people of Arbalon had gone out to meet them to save the spoil of their brothers. And the sons of Yaakov left 10 of their men in Taphnach to plunder the city, and they went toward the people of Arbalon. And the men of Arbalon went out with their wives to fight against the sons of Yaakov, for their wives were experienced in battle, and they went out about 400 men and women. And all the sons of Yaakov shouted with a loud voice, and they all ran toward the inhabitants of Arbalon, and with a great and mighty voice. And the inhabitants of Arbalon heard the noise of the shouting of the sons of Yaakov, and their roaring like the noise of lions, and like the roaring of the sea and its waves. And the fear and dread possessed their hearts because of the sons of Yaakov, and they were terribly afraid of them, and they retreated and fled before them into the city. And the sons of Yaakov pursued them to the gate of the city, and they came upon them in the city. And the sons of Yaakov fought with them in the city, and all their women were engaged in slinging against the sons of Yaakov, and the combat was very severe among them the whole of that day till evening. And the sons of Yaakov could not prevail over them, and the sons of Yaakov had almost perished in that battle. And the sons of Yaakov cried to Yahweh, and greatly gained strength toward evening. And the sons of Yaakov smote all the inhabitants of Arbalon with the edge of the sword, men, women, and little ones. And also the remainder of the people who had fled from Sarton, the sons of Yaakov smote them in Arbalon. And the sons of Yaakov did to Arbalon and Taphnach as they had done to Hazar and Sarton. And when the women saw that all the men were dead, they went up unto the roofs of the city and struck the sons of Yaakov by showering down stones like rain. And the sons of Yaakov hastened and came into the city and seized all the women and smote them with the edge of the sword. And the sons of Yaakov captured all the spoil and booty, flocks and herds and cattle. And the sons of Yaakov did to as they had done to Taphnach, to Hazar, and to Shiloh, and they turned from there and went away. And on the 5th day the sons of Yaakov heard that the people of Gaash had gathered against them to battle, because they had slain their sovereign and their captains. For there had been 14 captains in the city of Gaash, and the sons of Yaakov had slain them all in the first battle. And the sons of Yaakov girded on their weapons of battle that day, and they marched to battle against the inhabitants of Gaash. And in Gaash there was a strong and mighty people of the people of the Amorites, and Gaash was the strongest and best fortified city of all the cities of the Amorites, and it had 3 walls. And the sons of Yaakov came to Gaash, and they found the gates of the city locked, and about 500 men standing at the top of the outermost wall, and a people numerous as the sand upon the seashore were in ambush for the sons of Yaakov outside the city at the rear of it. And the sons of Yaakov approached to open the gates of the city, but while they were drawing near, see, those who were in ambush at the rear of the city came out from their places and surrounded the sons of Yaakov. And the sons of Yaakov were enclosed between the people of Gaash, and the battle was both to their front and rear. And all the men that were on the wall were shooting arrows and stones from the wall upon them. And Yehuda, seeing that the men of Gaash were getting too numerous for them, gave a most piercing and mighty cry. And all the men of Gaash were afraid at the voice of Yehuda's cry, and men fell from the wall at his powerful shout. And all those that were from without and within the city were greatly afraid for their lives. And the sons of Yaakov still came near to break the doors of the city, when the men of Gaash shot stones and arrows upon them from the top of the wall, and made them flee from the gate. And the sons of Yaakov returned against the men of Gaash who were with them from outside the city, and they smote them terribly, as striking against gourds. And they could not stand against the sons of Yaakov, for fear and dread had seized them at the cry of Yehudah. And the sons of Yaakov slew all those men who were outside the city, and the sons of Yaakov still drew near to make a way into the city, and to fight under the city walls. But they could not, for all the inhabitants of Gaash who remained in the city had surrounded the walls of Gaash in every direction, so that the sons of Yaakov were unable to approach the city to fight against them. And the sons of Yaakov drew near to one corner to fight under the wall. The inhabitants of Gaash shot arrows and stones upon them like showers of rain, and they fled from under the wall. And the people of Gaash who were on the wall, seeing that the sons of Yaakov could not prevail over them from under the wall, reproached the sons of Yaakov with these words, saying, "What is the matter with you in the battle that you cannot prevail? Can you then do to the mighty city of Gaash and its inhabitants as you did to the cities of the Amorites that were not so powerful? Only to those weak ones among us you did those matters, and slew them in the entrance of the city, for they had no strength when they were afraid at the sound of your shouting. And will you now then be able to fight in this place? Only here you will all die, and we will avenge the cause of those cities that you have laid waste." And the inhabitants of Gaash greatly reproached the sons of Yaakov, and reviled them with their mighty ones, and continued to shoot arrows and stones upon them from the wall. And Yehudah and his brothers heard the words of the inhabitants of Gaash, and their wrath was greatly roused. And Yehudah was jealous of his Elohim in this matter, and he called out and said, "O Yahweh, help! Send help to us and our brothers!" And he ran at a distance with all his might, with his drawn sword in his hand, and he leaped from the earth, and by means of his strength climbed the wall, but his sword fell from his hand. And Yehudah shouted on the wall, and all the men that were on the wall were afraid, and some of them fell from the wall into the city and died. And those who were still on the wall, when they saw Yehudah's strength, were greatly afraid, and fled for their lives into the city for safety. And some were emboldened to fight against Yehudah on the wall, and they came near to slay him when they saw there was no sword in Yehudah's hand. And they thought of casting him from the wall to his brothers, and 20 men of the city came up to assist them, and they surrounded Yehudah, and they all shouted over him and approached him with drawn swords, and they frightened Yehudah, and Yehudah cried out to his brothers from the wall. And Yaakov and his sons drew the bow from under the wall and smote 3 of the men that were upon the top of the wall. And Yehudah continued to cry, and he exclaimed, "O Yahweh, help us! O Yahweh, deliver us!" And he cried out with a loud voice on the wall, and the cry was heard at a great distance. And after this cry he again repeated to shout, and all the men who surrounded Yehudah on the top of the wall were afraid, and they each threw his sword from his hand at the sound of Yehudah shouting and his shaking, and fled. And Yehudah took these swords which had fallen from their hands, and Yehudah fought with them, and slew 20 of their men on the wall. And about 80 men and women still went up to the wall from the city, and they all surrounded Yehudah. But Yahuwah impressed the fear of Yehudah in their hearts, that they were unable to approach him. And Yaakov and all who were with him drew the bow from under the wall, and they slew 10 men on the wall, and they fell below the wall before Yaakov and his sons. And the people on the wall, seeing that 20 of their men had fallen, still ran toward Yehudah with drawn swords, but they could not approach him, for they were greatly afraid of Yehudah's strength. And one of their mighty men, whose name was Arod, approached to strike Yehudah on the head with his sword. Then Yehudah hastily put his shield to his head, and the sword hit the shield, and it was split in 2. And this mighty man, after he had struck Yehudah, ran for his life at the fear of Yehudah, but his feet slipped on the wall, and he fell among the sons of Yaakov who were below the wall, and the sons of Yaakov smote him and slew him. And Yehudah's head pained him from the blow of the powerful man, and Yehudah had nearly died from it. And Yehudah cried out on the wall because of the pain made by the blow, when Dan heard him, and his wrath burned within him. And he also rose up and went at a distance, and ran and leaped from the earth, and climbed the wall with his fierce strength. And when Dan came upon the wall near to Yehudah, all the men on the wall who had stood against Yehudah fled, and they went up to the second wall, and they shot arrows and stones upon Dan and Yehudah from the second wall, and strove to drive them from the wall. And the arrows and stones struck Dan and Yehudah, and they had nearly been killed on the wall. But wherever Dan and Yehudah fled from the wall, they were attacked with arrows and stones from the second wall. And Yaakov and his sons were still at the entrance of the city below the first wall, but they were not able to draw their bow against the inhabitants of the city, as they could not be seen by them, being on the second wall. And when Dan and Yehudah could no longer bear the stones and arrows that fell on them from the second wall, both leaped upon the second wall near the people of the city. And when the people of the city who were on the second wall saw that Dan and Yehudah had come to them on the second wall, they all cried out and came down below between the walls. And Yaakov and his sons heard the noise of the shouting from the people of the city, but they were still at the entrance of the city, and they were anxious about Dan and Yehudah, who were not seen by them, being on the second wall. And Naphtali went up with his fierce might and leaped upon the first wall to see what caused the noise of shouting which they heard in the city. And Yissachar and Zebulun drew near to break down the doors of the city, and they opened the gates of the city and came into the city. And Naphtali leaped from the first wall to the second and came to assist his brothers. And the inhabitants of Gaash, who were on the wall, seeing that Naphtali was the third who had come up to assist his brothers, all fled and went down into the city. And Yaakov and all his sons and all their young men came into the city to them. And Yehudah and Dan and Naphtali came down from the wall into the city and pursued the inhabitants of the city. But Shimon and Levi were outside the city and did not know that the gate was opened. And they went up from there to the wall and came down to their brothers into the city. And the inhabitants of the city had all come down into the city, and the sons of Yaakov came to them in different directions, and the battle waged against them from the front and the rear. And the sons of Yaakov smote them terribly and slew about 20,000 of them, men and women. Not one of them could stand up against the sons of Yaakov. And the blood flowed plentifully in the city, and it was like a stream of water. And the blood flowed like a stream to the outer part of the city and reached the desert of Betharon. And the people of Betharon saw the blood at the distance flowing from the city of Gaash, and about 70 men from among them ran to see the blood, and they came to the place where the blood was. And they followed the path of the blood and came to the wall of the city of Gaash, and they saw the blood issue from the city, and they heard the voice of crying from the inhabitants of Gaash, for it ascended to the Shamayim, and the blood continued to flow abundantly like a stream of water. And all the sons of Yaakov were still smiting the inhabitants of Gaash, and were engaged in slaying them till evening, about 20,000 men and women. And the people of Haron said, "Indeed, this is the work of the Ivrim, for they are still continuing to fight in all the cities of the Amorites." And those people hastened and ran to Betharon, and each took his weapons of battle, and they cried out to all the inhabitants of Betharon, who also girded on their weapons of battle to go and fight against the sons of Yaakov. And when the sons of Yaakov had finished smiting the inhabitants of Gaash, they walked about the city to strip all the slain. And coming in the innermost part of the city and farther on, they met 3 powerful men, and there was no sword in their hand. And the sons of Yaakov came up to the place where they were, and the powerful men ran away. But one of them had taken Zebulun, who he saw was a young man and of short stature, and with his might dashed him to the ground. And Yaakov ran to him with his sword, and Yaakov smote him below his loins with the sword, and cut him in two, and the body fell upon Zebulun. And the second one approached and seized Yaakov to cut him to the ground. But Yaakov turned to him and shouted at him, while Shimon and Levi ran and smote him on the hips with the sword, and cut him to the ground. And the powerful man rose up from the ground with fierce might, and Yehudah came to him before he had gained his footing, and struck him on the head with the sword, and his head was split, and he died. And the third powerful man, seeing that his companions were killed, ran from before the sons of Yaakov, and the sons of Yaakov pursued him in the city. And while the powerful man was fleeing, he found one of the swords of the inhabitants of the city, and he picked it up and turned to the sons of Yaakov and fought them with the sword. And the powerful man ran at Yehudah to strike him on the head with the sword, but there was no shield in the hand of Yehudah. And while he was aiming to strike him, Naphtali hastily took his shield and put it to Yehudah's head, and the sword of the powerful man hit the shield of Naphtali, and Yehudah escaped the sword. And Shimon and Levi ran at the powerful man with their swords and struck at him mightily with their swords. And the 2 swords entered the body of the powerful man and divided it in 2 lengthwise. And the sons of Yaakov smote the 3 mighty men at that time, together with all the inhabitants of Gaash. And the day was about to decline. And the sons of Yaakov walked about Gaash and took all the spoil of the city, even the little ones and women they did not allow to live. And the sons of Yaakov did to Gaash as they had done to Sarton and Shiloh. Yashar, Jasher, chapter 40. And the sons of Yaakov led away all the spoil of Gaash and went out of the city by night. They were going out marching toward the stronghold of Betharon, but the inhabitants of Betharon were going to the stronghold to meet them. And on that night the sons of Yaakov fought with the inhabitants of Betharon in the stronghold of Betharon. And all the inhabitants of Betharon were mighty men. One of them would not flee from before 1,000 men. And they fought on that night at the stronghold, and their shouts were heard on that night from afar, and the earth quaked at their shouting. And all the sons of Yaakov were afraid of those men, as they were not accustomed to fighting in the dark, and they were greatly put to shame. And the sons of Yaakov cried out to Yehova, saying, Give help to us, O Yehova, deliver us, that we may not die by the hands of these uncircumcised men. And Yehova listened to the voice of the sons of Yaakov, and Yehova caused great fear and confusion to seize the people of Betharon, and they fought among themselves, one with the other in the darkness of night, and smote each other in great numbers. And the sons of Yaakov, knowing that Yahweh had brought a spirit of confusion among those men, and that they fought each man with his neighbor, went forth from among the bands of the people of Betharon, and went as far as the descent of the stronghold of Betharon, and farther. And they waited there safely with their young men on that night. And the people of Betharon fought the whole night, one man with his brother, and the other with his neighbor, and they cried out in every direction at the stronghold, and their cry was heard at a distance, and the whole earth shook at their voice, for they were mighty above all the people of the earth. And all the inhabitants of the cities of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Hivites, and all the sovereigns of Canaan, and also those who were on the other side of the Jordan, heard the noise of the shouting on that night. And they said, Indeed, these are the battles of the Ephraim, who are fighting against the 7 cities who came near to them, and who can stand against those Ephraim? And all the inhabitants of the cities of the Canaanites and all those who were on the other side of the Jordan were greatly afraid of the sons of Yaakov, for they said, See, the same will be done to us as was done to those cities, for who can stand against their mighty strength? And the cries of the Horonites were very great on that night, and continued to increase. And they smote each other till morning, and many of them were killed. And the morning appeared, and all the sons of Yaakov rose up at daybreak, and went up to the stronghold, and they smote those who remained of the Horonites in a fearful manner, and they were all killed in the stronghold. And the 6th day appeared, and all the inhabitants of Canaan saw at a distance all the people of Betharon lying dead in the stronghold of Betharon, and strewn about as the carcasses of lambs and goats. And the sons of Yaakov led all the spoil which they had captured from Gaash, and went to Betharon. And they found the city full of people like the sand of the sea, and they fought with them, and the sons of Yaakov smote them there till evening. And the sons of Yaakov did to Betharon as they had done to Gaash and Taphnach, and as they had done to Chazar, to Sarton, and to Shiloh. And the sons of Yaakov took with them the spoil of Betharon, and all the spoil of the cities, and on that day they went home to Shechem. And the sons of Yaakov came home to the city of Shechem, and they remained outside the city, and they rested there from the battle, and stayed there all night. And all their servants, together with all the spoil that they had taken from these cities, they left outside the city, and they did not enter the city, for they said, Maybe there may be yet more fighting against us, and they may come to besiege us in Shechem. And Yaakov and his sons and their servants remained on that night and the next day in the portion of the field which Yaakov had purchased from Hamor for 5 shekels, and all that they had captured was with them, and all the booty which the sons of Yaakov had captured was in the portion of the field, as great as the sand on the seashore. And the inhabitants of the land watched them from afar, and all the inhabitants of the land were afraid of the sons of Yaakov who had done this matter, for no sovereign from the days of old had ever done so. And the 7 sovereigns of the Canaanites resolved to make peace with the sons of Yaakov, for they were greatly afraid for their lives because of the sons of Yaakov. And on that day, being the 7th day, Yahweh, sovereign of Hebron, sent secretly to the sovereign of Ai, to the sovereign of Givon, and to the sovereign of Shelem, and to the sovereign of Adullam, and to the sovereign of Lachish, and to the sovereign of Chazar, and to all the Canaanite sovereigns who were under their subjection, saying, Go up with me, and come to me, that we may go to the sons of Yaakov, and I will make peace with them, and make a covenant with them, lest all your lands be destroyed by the swords of the sons of Yaakov, as they did to Shechem and the cities around it, as you have heard and seen. And when you come to me, do not come with many men, but to let every sovereign bring his 3 chief officers, and every officer bring 3 of his captains. And all of you come to Hebron, and we will go together to the sons of Yaakov, and request of them that they would make a covenant of peace with us. And all those sovereigns did as the sovereign of Hebron had sent to them, for they were all under his counsel and command. And all the sovereigns of Canaan assembled to go to the sons of Yaakov to make peace with them. And the sons of Yaakov returned and went to the portion of the field that was in Shechem, for they did not trust the sovereigns of the land. And the sons of Yaakov returned and remained in the portion of the field 10 days, and no one came to fight against them. And when the sons of Yaakov saw that there was no sign of battle, they all assembled and went to the city of Shechem, and the sons of Yaakov remained in Shechem. And at the passing of 40 days, all the sovereigns of the Amorites assembled from all their places and came to Hebron, to Yahweh, sovereign of Hebron. And the number of sovereigns that came to Hebron to make peace with the sons of Yaakov was 21 sovereigns. And the number of officers that came with them was 69, and their men 189. And all the sovereigns and their men rested by Mount Hebron. And the sovereign of Hebron went out with his 3 officers and 9 men, and these sovereigns resolved to go to the sons of Yaakov to make peace. And they said to the sovereign of Hebron, Go before us with your men, and speak for us to the sons of Yaakov, and we will come after you and confirm your words. And the sovereign of Hebron did so, and the sons of Yaakov heard that all the sovereigns of Canaan had gathered together and rested in Hebron. And the sons of Yaakov sent 4 of their servants as spies, saying, Go and spy these sovereigns, and search and examine their men, whether they are few or many. And if they are but few in number, count them all and come back. And the servants of Yaakov went secretly to these sovereigns, and did as the sons of Yaakov had commanded them. And on that day they came back to the sons of Yaakov, and said to them, We came to those sovereigns, and they are but few in number, and we counted them all, and see, they were 288, sovereigns and men. And the sons of Yaakov said, They are but few in number, therefore we will not all go out to them. And in the morning the sons of Yaakov rose up and chose 62 of their men, and 10 of the sons of Yaakov went with them. And they girded on their weapons of battle, for they said, They are coming to fight against us. For they did not know that they were coming to make peace with them. And the sons of Yaakov went with their servants to the gate of Shechem toward those sovereigns, and their father Yaakov was with them. And when they had come out, see, the sovereign of Hebron and his 3 officers and 9 men with him were coming along the way toward the sons of Yaakov. And the sons of Yaakov lifted up their eyes, and saw at a distance Yahweh, sovereign of Hebron, with his officers coming toward them. And the sons of Yaakov took their stand at the place of the gate of Shechem, and did not proceed. And the sovereign of Hebron continued to advance, he and his officers, until he came near to the sons of Yaakov. And he and his officers bowed down to them to the ground. And the sovereign of Hebron sat with his officers before Yaakov and his sons. And the sons of Yaakov said to him, What has befallen you, O sovereign of Hebron? Why have you come to us this day? What do you require from us? And the sovereign of Hebron said to Yaakov, I ask you, my master, all the sovereigns of the Canaanites have come this day to make peace with you. And the sons of Yaakov heard the words of the sovereign of Hebron, and they would not agree to his proposals, for the sons of Yaakov had no trust in him, for they thought that the sovereign of Hebron had spoken deceitfully to them. And the sovereign of Hebron knew from the words of the sons of Yaakov that they did not believe his words. And the sovereign of Hebron approached near to Yaakov and said to him, I ask you, my master, to be assured that all these sovereigns have come to you on peaceable terms, for they have not come with all their men, neither did they bring their weapons of battle with them, for they have come to seek peace from my master and his sons. And the sons of Yaakov answered the sovereign of Hebron, saying, Send to all these sovereigns, and if you speak truth to us, let them each come individually before us, and if they come to us unarmed, we shall then know that they seek peace from us. And Yaphia, sovereign of Hebron, sent one of his men to the sovereigns, and they all came before the sons of Yaakov, and bowed down to them to the ground. And these sovereigns sat before Yaakov and his sons, and they spoke to them, saying, We have heard all that you did to the sovereigns of the Amorites with your sword and exceedingly mighty arm, so that no man could stand up before you, and we were afraid of you for the sake of our lives, lest it should befall us as it did to them. So we have come to you to make a covenant of peace between us. Now, therefore, make a covenant of peace and truth with us, that you will not strive with us, inasmuch as we have not striven with you. And the sons of Yaakov knew that they had indeed come to seek peace from them. And the sons of Yaakov listened to them and made a covenant with them. And the sons of Yaakov swore to them that they would not strive with them. And all the sovereigns of the Canaanites also swore to them. And the sons of Yaakov made them serve compulsorily from then onward. And after this, all the officers of these sovereigns came with their men before Yaakov, with presents in their hands for Yaakov and his sons, and they bowed down to him to the ground. And these sovereigns then urged the sons of Yaakov, and begged of them to return all the spoil they had captured from the 7 cities of the Amorites. And the sons of Yaakov did so, and they returned all that they had captured, the women, the little ones, the cattle, and all the spoil which they had taken. And they sent them off, and they went away each to his city. And all these sovereigns again bowed down to the sons of Yaakov, and they sent or brought them many gifts in those days. And the sons of Yaakov sent off these sovereigns and their men, and they went peaceably away from them to their cities. And the sons of Yaakov also returned to their home, to Shechem. And there was peace from then onward between the sons of Yaakov and the sovereigns of the Canaanites, until the children of Yisrael came to inherit the land of Canaan.